Tired of ads barging into your favorite news podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free news podcasts to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hi guys, and welcome to Heavy Metal Tones, episode 3 with your podcast host Tony Evans. This week we're going to be looking back at the episode I just did, which was at the end I had a ramble, as I normally do, about the thought of lost heroes and lost hero lineups, and what would be amazing to see them again in different lineups. Now, so what I've done is I've put together a list of fallen heroes of mine. Now this list is not, it's not fully flashed out. If it was fully flashed out, my God, I'd be here all day just talking about that. This is going to be just sort of each part of the band. I've got 5 members which we can choose from. I'd love you to send me information. Go on my email address, which is heavymetaltones, all one word, @gmail.com, and give me an idea of your top 5 or top band from the list I've made, or your own list, or go to my Facebook page, which is Nwabum and All Things Metal. That would be another good idea to go and do that for me. Anyway, I don't want to, if I've left anyone out or left anything out, please don't have a go. It's just, again, I sat down the other night and thought, what do I do? I've mixed the genres as well. It's not just heavy metal. I mean, of course, as I told you before, I like all sorts of music, but I try to keep it in that heavier feel. I'll sort of go through each member and then, why I think that's the case. And then maybe we could think of a funny name or an interesting name for the band at the end, or if I don't think of one at the end, at least you could email me again on my Facebook page and let us know what you think the name would be. Okay, so we're going to start with, as you would, we'll start with singers. Now, the singers, it's a bit tricky because there's so many, is there not, right? Okay, so in my number 1, and again, this isn't in order, this is just 1 to 5. Okay, I've got Phil Lynott of Thin Lizzy. He's one of my favourite singers of all time. In fact, he plays the bass as well. There's a crossover in the bass there, I think. Towering frontman, much maligned, unfortunately. One of the first Irish rock stars, and black as well. And the fact that he just never let anyone get to him. He just wrote music because he loved writing music. He was a rock and roll personified in the 70s, I reckon. Of course, what a great lineups that he had. Gary Moore, just amazing, really. In at 2, I jumped from the metal here to a punk. I've got Pete Shelley from the Buzzcocks. Now, we sadly lost him 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer now, and he. Of all the punk singers, and I love most of them, Shelley's sort of wistful pop sensibilities, his ability to write a catchy, interesting song, had to be in the list. I just had to put him in there because, again, I could find other heavy metal singers that are sadly gone. So, actually, not a lot of them, to be fair. You might know more than I do, but I'd say that Pete Shelley is definitely there for me. In at number 3, again, I've got Lemmy. How can you not have Lemmy? Now, I would have him on bass as well, but, I could cross him over, and I probably will cross him over into bass. But when I think of Lemmy, I don't think of him as a bass player. I He plays the bass like a guitar, and he plays it thunderously. But I've always thought of him as just that, that dirty rock and roll sound, even from when he was with Hawkwind, right through to his, let's face it, Pete Shelley and Lemmy good in the list because Lemmy is a crossover punk singer, and you love that punk crossover with them. The Damned did that single with them, but he really truly, I think, personifies that gritty, dirty heavy metal frontman. In at 4, I've got Ronnie James Dio. Now, I am not a big fan of Ronnie James Dio as a singer, but I just love his theatricality. I like the way that he sort of lived rock and roll, but also he invented the devil horn. So come on, we have to have him in the list. Again, sadly, story about him. I had free tickets to see him with Heaven and Hell at the Wollongong in Wollongong, but I didn't go because I had a job interview that day, and which I didn't get in the end anyway, sadly, but I didn't go. A friend of mine went up there and called me from outside the theatre as they were tuning up, and I said to Dave, "No, don't worry, mate. We're going to see him on again soon." What did he do? He died not soon after. So there's one of those regrets I had in music. And in 5, I've got in one here. I've got Chuck Schuldiner from Death. Now, if I've said that wrong, I apologise. But I had to have something that was more extreme in the list, and really, you did become more extreme than Chuck. What a guitarist! What a brutal vocalist. Taken too young. Amazing, amazing vision for his music. He loved his band and all the incantations of his band. He always played from the heart, and it was brutal but beautiful at the same time. I'll just say that. Anyway, that's the singers. If you've got any more, I didn't put in honourable mentions. I didn't put Freddie Mercury in there because for me it was too obvious. John Lennon. I could, even Jimi Hendrix. I just didn't do it because I wanted to be something. It's easy for us to sit down and write and rattle off those names, but to sit down and think of others that were meant to be more to you, but were a little bit more, I don't know, in the background. I think that's the route I'm looking at. Now we're moving on to first guitar. Okay, because my band has 2 guitarists. First guitar. What do we got? We've got Gary Moore. Now I could have had him cross over in singers, but Gary Moore is my favourite guitarist of all time. Bar none. I love him to bits. Okay, so all I can say is, brilliant. What a guitarist. He crossed all the genres. Blues, jazz, heavy rock, heavy metal. He was there. Obviously we all remember him now for his blues odysseys from the sort of late 80s onwards. He just has this ability when he picks the guitar up, when he picked the guitar up, it was so beautiful and so violent and so in love with the soul of blues and rock and roll that it was infectious. Another sad one, never got to see him live, but anyway, we miss you, Gary. Well, no, I do. Second is Randy Rhoads. Now, I've got Randy Rhoads on there because, come on, again, this is a heavy metal podcast. We can't not have Randy Rhoads. Small in stature, big in sound. Beautiful classical guitarist. Just his flying V. Just the solos. Stuff. Stuff he did on Suicide Solution, and I could name hundreds of his guitar works, but really, it's just what he did with Ozzy. Just brought the best out of Ozzy. Obviously Tony did. Tony was there, he's genius. But Randy and all the guitarists that Ozzy played with, really, Zakk Wylde, sorry to say, great guitarist, but one-dimensional. Whereas Randy had all sorts of facets to his music, sadly lost. Number 3, I've got Jeff Hanneman. Now, Jeff Hanneman from Slayer. I love Slayer. I've seen Slayer I saw Slayer on every world tour up until their last at Download a couple of years ago. Sadly, again, we lost Jeff Hanneman. He, the guitarist of Slayer, really was a guitarist of Slayer. Kerry King has one sound, and if he didn't have a flying V, if he didn't have a floating bridge, if he didn't have his Floyd Rose, he wouldn't have a solo. I mean, sorry if you listen to this, you're not going to listen to this anyway. If you did listen to this, yeah, look, you're a great guitarist. Obviously, you're better than me. I can't play anything like you. That's for sure. And you're great live. But really, Jeff had the chops there in the band, I think. Sadly missed. At 4, I've got Eddie Van Halen. Now, he's in that obvious list, right? He's in the obvious list. I could have picked out someone else. But fresh in the mind, losing him this year, he just, my best friend at school, he brought in a tape. Well, my birthday was in the school holidays in the UK in March, and I came up again after my school holidays, and he brought me 2 tapes. Actually, yes, 2 tapes. He brought me Van Halen 5110, and bought me Iron Maiden's Live After Death. Now, I'll love him for that forever, because I mean, I already had Live After Death on a copy. This was a genuine copy, which was great. And you know, the thing about Van Halen was, yes, I know the 5110 is not the obvious album choice for them, but it's just something that introduced me. And of course, I went back and listened to Eruption and some of that, and of course, just the speed, agility, you know, it was just pure basic rock and roll that had tapping. Now, the tapping wasn't invented by him. I'm going to stand here. It wasn't. Steve Hackett, Genesis, actually started tapping the much sooner than that, earlier on Selling England by the Pound back in the early 70s. So it wasn't. I mean, he never said he was influenced by Steve Hackett. I probably think he was. Anyway, that aside, Van Halen, wow, what a guitarist. And then at 5, I've got Fast Eddie Clarke from Motorhead again. When you want guitar and you want rock and roll, you either want one or two things. You want it to be clean, virtuosic, and note perfect, or you want it to be dirty, filthy, and hard. And I have to say that I'm in that category. I prefer to hear a really lo-fi, crunching Gibson overdriven rock and roll guitar than a lot of these. And look, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy Steve Vai and all those sort of, you know, Eddie, Jim Armstein and all that sort of stuff. It's fun at the time, and you know, stuff the guys from Dragon Force and all that sort of Herman Lee. I mean, they're amazing, technical, but with some of that technicality, you do lose the emphasis of rock and roll, and I think that's why I like Eddie's the dirty rock and roll. Anyway, on to Guitar 2. Now, Guitar 2, this is more not so much a heavy metal, but more an influence for me. I've got in number 1 Albert King. Now, I didn't say this in the first episode, I really love blues guitar. I love blues in general, and that's why Gary Moore is on that list. But Albert King is my favourite black blues guitarist. He's played all his solos on one string. He's a towering 6'6" man with a flying V. He played from the heart. He played beautiful blues. Honestly, if you get a chance, please go and grab, even if it's just like a best of Crosscut Saw and you know, all these things. I mean, if you listen to any of the Gary Moore albums, his blues albums, you'll hear a lot of Albert King covers influence. I think he played with Albert King before he passed away. I could be wrong. I'm sure that's right. Anyway, number 2, the greatest white blues guitarist of them all, and is connected to Gary Moore via his guitar, and to his guitar to Metallica with is Peter Green. Peter Green, again, if you don't know who Peter Green is, he's the original member of Fleetwood Mac. Went on a drug trip, which fried his mind, and he left. And the band changed. They went from being truly innovative, blues-driven English white blues band to just a sort of a bland pop band. I'm sorry, again, I'm not a fan of the non-Peter Green years, but just YouTube Albatross. have a listen to it. It is an instrumental piece that I find soothing and beautiful. His ability to make that 56 Gibson sing is second to none. Again, Peter, we miss you. 3 in this list is Greg Lake. Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. There's my prog credentials coming out there. He played guitar, played 12 string, played bass, played 6 string. He sang. He started writing songs when he was 11 and 12. Oh Lucky Man, he wrote when he was 12. Again, I urge you to go and listen to Oh Lucky Man. You can get on Spotify or you can watch it on YouTube. People think, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, overblown, bloated keyboard solos and classical music driven Bach orientated pieces. Yes, they are. That you don't go into them thinking, I'm going to listen to this because it's going to be 5 minutes. You go in with lots of time to spare. Please, if you don't listen to Lucky Man, listen to 20th Century Schizoid Man. You're not going to regret that one at all. Anyway, yeah, moving on. In 4, another white blues man, Rory Gallagher. Again, one of these people. I'm sure that a lot of people in the know will know him. A lot of people out there won't know him. So I open up my eyes to some people here. Rory Gallagher, Irish blues guitarist, very much in the kin. Sort of, I think, the hero of Gary Moore, before Gary Moore, and around the sort of same time towards his life. He died very young. His live work is just tremendous. It's accessible blues, so it's not the impenetrable bluegrass blues that people cannot get into. It's just sumptuous. It's fast. It's dynamic. He knows how to play slow. He knows how to play fast. Every note is audible. I urge you, please go out and look for anything of the Rory Gallagher albums. You can buy them now because he's getting a new lease of life with the revival of vinyl. A lot of people are reissuing these albums. Again, the wealth of YouTube and of Spotify. Go and give them a go. Again, Mr. Rory. And very last, again, is another white blues guitarist who died too young. Again, in an air accident, just like Randy Rhoads. I'm obviously talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Actually, Stevie Ray Vaughan played with Alvin King. I don't think it was Gary Moore. Anyway, but I could be wrong. Stevie Ray Vaughan. We all know it. Hat with a scarf around it. His Fender guitar. I'm a guitar nerd, so I love this stuff. If you're not a guitar nerd, I don't really. Just still give it a go. I mean, if you haven't heard any Stevie Ray Vaughan, where have you been? And if you do know Stevie Ray Vaughan, then as soon as this podcast, pause it if you want right now, go and play some Stevie, or wait till you finish and put some on in tribute to the man. I think above all the white blues guitarists outside of Peter Green, he's probably, I think it goes Peter Green, in my opinion, Gary Moore, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Rory Gallagher, and then, you know what, I'm going to put Clapton down the list. Innovative, brilliant up till Disraeli Gears. Beyond that, I think he just became I really love August. Came out in '88. Apart from that, he became very one-dimensional. Anyway, that's another different story and another mode. But yeah, Stevie Ray Vaughan is the last of that list. So you can see the first part's more heavy stuff, the second part's more influential to those heavy people. Because I don't think without list 2 you wouldn't have list 1. Anyway, moving on. We're going to go on to bass. Well, we're going to go on to bass after the break. Okay, so guys, the guys at the basement asked me to mention to you that if you want to order food from their restaurant Chompies, which is situated at the back of the venue, you can still if you're within a 6 kilometre radius of the restaurant. So you can go to Chompies, that is at bit.ly/Chompies, that's bit.ly/Chompies, that's CHOMPYS, word, and you can order your food and alcohol from there. Lucky you, I wish I could, I'm too far away. They also want me to mention that as of the 14th and 15th of January next year, there's the Canberra Metal Fest. The tickets are available at www.canberrametalfest.com.au. They're $120 a ticket. There's going to be lots of people on the lineup. There's so many on there already, but I want you to go over and discover it for yourself before you go and find what band you like. And even if there's not a band that you like, I'd buy a ticket and support the local community, the local bands, and get some music back on the streets back in 2022. So that's www.canberrametalfest.com.au. That's www.canberrametalfest.com.au. $120 a ticket. And you'll be supporting local music and local venues. I'll be there. I'll see you there. Welcome back, guys, to part 2. Bass players. Now, I've got a bit of correction there. I apologise. I did say 5110. It's 5150 is the Van Halen album. I don't know why I put 5110. I think it could be something to do with yes, but anyway, it's 5150. Thank you, Justin, for giving me that tape. Don't have it anymore, but I have it on vinyl. I'd love to find my tape somewhere. I'm sure I have it somewhere in the archives. Anyway, on to bass players. Now, this is something that's very close to me as a bass player myself, or a wannabe bass player. I sort of have quite a few in there, sadly. Get to 5. There's a few here. Some you will know, some you might not know. The ones you don't know, please, as I said, make note. Go and find them. When I get my website up and running properly, eventually I'll have that list printed anyway, but go and have a look. So, in at number 1, again, this is not in any order, but the father of them all, the best bass player, sadly to not be with us anymore, is John Entwistle from The Who. He took bass playing from being a bit part player, sitting 1 octave below the guitar line, just plodding along to something bouncy, individual, and an instrument in its own right. I know that Paul McCartney is also one of those people, in fact probably is the one to originate that, but he's not passed on, thank goodness, and that's not what this is about. Anyway, for me, John Entwistle. So, you know, it started when I was listening to my brother Michael at The Who, yeah, Michael's Who record collection, and just being, you know, this amazing rock and roll, but with sort of a different sound I hadn't heard before. I remember going with the very first record I ever bought with my own money, and I said this before, was The Who's Who by Numbers. Went to Boots the Chemist in Brent Cross, and went to the counter for the record. My brother would give me the money to buy it, and the record guy behind the counter was like, I mean, at this time, Chemist sold records, amazing, right? But he said, do you really want this? This is for you. And my brother's like, he's got good taste, give him the record. It was a reissue at the time, of course. And I wasn't buying records when it was first issued. It was about 82, maybe. Anyway, around then. And John, you know, when I was getting to learn the bass, I actually came into bass through a different route, through Iron Maiden, and actually through Sid Vicious. And please, I'm not going to have this conversation with people about Sid Vicious couldn't play his instrument. I don't want to swear on this podcast, but I could if you let me. I'm not going to say it. It wasn't about the guitar playing, it was about the rock and roll and the spirit of rock and roll. Anyway, again, so John Entwistle. So he was an ex-trumpet player, so really strong fingers in a reasonable musical sense, and so a massive towering man. So his bass playing, I'm going to put in this list now next to him. I'm going to put Chris Squire in the same line. He's not in my list, but he's in my honourable mention because both of them had the same ability. They were both toweringly big men. They played their basses like they were lead guitars. They took the instrument away from being one-dimensional octave, you know, just along with the drummer. There's something, you know, the bass solo in my generation. Really, if you really want to see a bass player play something that blow your mind, Google his last tour. I think it's his last tour, one of his last tours with the Who. With it's now. 1 second. I'm going to pause it because I need to remember what that song is. Back, guys. Yeah, sorry. 5:15. I do it. I just had an old man moment. The bass over on YouTube. You can get it now. It's called Entwistle 5:15 bass solo, and it is just phenomenal. He plays it on his Vulture bass, his signature basses. He had hundreds and hundreds of. His Vulture bass was his signature one. Beautiful, weird shape, very dynamic. Yeah, very rarely used a pick. Like all the great bass players, John Entwistle, Chris Squire, as I mentioned, Steve Harris, Jaco Pastorius. They're not pick players. They play the instrument and feel it through their body. It's amazing, amazing. So anyway, moving on. Second on the list is Jack Bruce. Now he is in my could be singer list as well, because he was also a fantastic blues singer. Comes from that technical jazz background. Was the bass player in Cream. Again, if you haven't heard Jack Bruce's bass parts, I highly recommend just going. Really, firstly, just go and get Disraeli Gears. If you don't own Disraeli Gears, then shame on you, because we all should own copies of Disraeli Gears. It's not only is it one of the greatest album covers ever made, and actually illustrated by an Australian, but it's also the greatest psychedelic album of its era. People say Sgt. Pepper. Sgt. Pepper was too pop for psychedelia. It was psychedelia but pop. I think that where Disraeli Gears, Sunshine of Your Love, I'm just jumping out of train of thought there, you know, Tale of Ulysses, I mean, it's just it's brilliant. Clapton, I think, at his very best, and I'm going to talk about the drummer later on. He's in my list, but you know, the first real power trio, first real super group, and the one, I mean, like those great albums, one album for me, really. I mean, they've made other albums, of course they did, but one album, you know. Never mind the bollocks, was that one album that they didn't need to make. Disraeli Gears is another one, really. And I even think that with the Police, I think outruns them more. But anyway, I don't decide. So Jack Bruce, upright bass, electric bass, fretless bass, just played them all wonderful. Now, of course, we are in a heavy metal podcast, as I said before, so I've moved on to the first heavy metal bass player that I've got on my list is Cliff Burton. I am, you know, I'm not really a big Metallica fan. First 3 albums, I think everything up till the moment that Cliff left or passed away, sort of thing. So from after that, I just got a little bored. I don't really think they're that talented. Sorry, it's going to polarize people, but nah, not my sort of thing. Again, Cliff had a sense of rhythm, sense of different individuality. He could headbang one rhythm and play another, or blue denim with peace symbols. He was just, I think he was the heart and soul of that band. Like to be fair, like Steve Harris is with Maiden. Yeah, no, he went too early. What a shame there. I just don't think they really had the same direction after he left. But one of the greatest heavy metal bass players of the world, really. Moving on from there, because we're running out of time a bit here. Raven. Raven for Killing Joke. Killing Joke are I keep saying I've got favourites, but they really truly are one of my all-time favourite bands. And when Youth left in the mid-80s, Raven came in, and you know, dark, foreboding, aggressive pick player, but with that kind of music they play, that's the case, that's how it would be. I mean, Youth was a finger player, mix a finger and pick. But Raven, yeah. Again, if you don't know his work, get onto things like look, most of us will know I Love Like Blood, 80s. There are those sort of the later albums, like Nighttime. What can I say? Yeah, I think Nighttime's the one that most people will know because it has the singles off them from 80s and I said Love Like Blood. But just check out the Raven era. I said mid-80s to he died about 12, 13 years ago, maybe longer. And then youth came back in. But if you don't know what genre they are, they invented industrial music. They're a post-punk band, a post-apocalyptic band. But when you see them live, to send you into a trance. I've seen them so many times, but every time I come out and go, did I really see them? I was in such a rhythmic trance. They're into mysticism and the occult. Yeah, just wonderful. Anyway, and last on the list is one for my mate Millsy. I was never a big fan of this band when I was very young. I got into them later in life. It's UFO. So Pete Way, he died I think last year. Pete Way, Stripy Pants. Hey, hang on, who does that? Steve Harris. Interesting, eh? He just again, just bouncy, fun, anthemic bass playing. Nothing spectacular, nothing out of the ordinary. He wasn't breaking ground. He wasn't doing modal stuff that no one else had ever done. He just played that. Just accompanied the drummer, of course. Schenkner. It really just made fun music. And I think I have to all the musicians we have on our list. A lot of them are very serious. I think Pete Way was more influential than you'd know. I mean, particularly the New Album movement. But yeah, just a brilliant bass player. Again, go out there, go find some Pete Way era UFO, put it on loud, and have some fun. So we're going to move swiftly on, after the next break, onto drummers. See you on the other side. Okay, so guys, the guys at the basement asked me to mention to you that if you want to order food from their restaurant Chompy's, which is situated at the back of the venue, you can still if you're within a 6-kilometre radius of the restaurant. So you can go to Chompy's, that is at bit.ly/Chompy's, that's bit.ly/Chompy's, that's CHOMPYS, one word, and you can order your food and alcohol from there. Lucky you, I wish I could, I'm too far away. They also want me to mention that as of the 14th to the 15th of January next year, there's the Canberra Metal Fest. The tickets are available at www.canberrametalfest.com.au. They're $120 a ticket. There's going to be lots of people on the lineup. There's so many on there already, but I want you to go over and discover it for yourself before you go and find what band you like. And even if there's not a band that you like, I'd buy a ticket and support the local community, the local bands, and get some music back on the streets back in 2022. So that's www.canberrametalfest.com.au. That's www.canberrametalfest.com.au. $120 a ticket. And you'll be supporting local music and local venues. I'll be there. I'll see you there. Welcome, guys, back to the last part of the show. Now we're on to drummers. Like any other member of the band, it seems that the drummers seem to be the ones that end up crashing and burning, really, isn't it? There's more drummers on the list than there should be, and there's more drummers on the list that I can't name. There's too many of them. Anyway, in at number one, again, these are not in order, guys, you know that I said earlier, it's just where I'm in the list. I've got Cozy Powell. Cozy Powell, a drummer since the late 60s right through to when he passed away sadly in the early 90s. I saw him with Sabbath, Headless Cross Tour, Hammersmith Odeon. It was in, remember this, it was in April, and it was 1989. Wow, I obviously got to see Bill Ward later on, but Cozy I mean, NIB is a tricky drumming track at the best of times, but he took it to a different level. I mean, in a Sabbath lineup that wasn't really that strong, apart from my favourite singer of Sabbath, actually outside of Ozzy, which is Tony Martin, wasn't the strongest of lineups, and but I still consider Headless Cross and TYR as two of my favourite Black Sabbath albums of them all. Anyway, sadly, he died in a car accident. He was on his way at home in a country lane. He was on his phone to his wife. Speed, alcohol, drugs, and rock and roll was what he lived for. And sadly, killed in the end. But hey, Cozy, what a drummer now! Honestly, just go and listen to. Go and Wikipedia him. Go and find the bands he was in. Just brilliant. I mean, sort of that bridge between your heavy rock into your heavy metal. Even though I don't think he would call himself a heavy metal drummer, he's just a rock drummer. Really. The next one on the list, of course, the first, the great Keith Moon. Now, Keith Moon does sit in that list of hey, too obvious, because you could put Bonham there, and I'm not going to. I'd put Keith Moon in this list because without Keith Moon, I mean, I've said it before, said it again, I'm not a Led Zeppelin fan. It's been too many years of my youth listening to them to the point where now it just bores me to tears. But Keith Moon, it wasn't just that he innovated and created a sound unlike any other heard before. That he could create a big sound with his kit, a small kit. He could just do it. He could hit those skins like they were just going to explode. He had rhythm and he had syncopation. Now, I believe he didn't have much fibre in his diet. No, sorry, I'm really joking. That's not true. It's a brother's joke. But anyway, he was him and Edward Swisher combined, just like rock solid, just like Steve Harris and Nick McBrain, just rock solid. Anyway, some funny stories, and what I love about his rock and roll, so everyone remembers him chucking his TVs out the window, his Rolls Royce in his swimming pool. But my favourite story of his is during the recording of filming of Tommy. He knew that Oliver Reed and Roger Daltrey couldn't swim, so he took the boat out with them during one lunch. He has a boat where they were filming from the coast, and let's go some fishing. And he got them drunk on the boat, and while they were passed out, took the keys, put them in his pocket, jumped overboard and swam back to the shore. And when the director was asking where the lads were, well, they were stuck on a boat about half a kilometre offshore, couldn't swim, couldn't get back. That's Keith Moon. I mean, that's what I love about Keith Moon. There's many stories like that, but that's the part of the soul I love about. The three, a very sad one, for me, really sad actually, was Neil Peart, the diet of Rush. Is it Peart or Peart? Anyway, Peart. What a drummer. I mean, not a flashy character, not a rock and roll monster, a quiet Canadian who wrote most of the lyrics, he was an author, I believe. He was rock. He just had this progressiveness to him that wasn't progressive. I mean, people put Rush in progressive rock, but I don't see it. I mean, it is there slightly, but they're more just I don't know what they are home catch pretty much. Anyway, he had more pieces to his drum kit than any other drummer I've ever seen. He played every single one of them. I mean, everyone remembers the cowbell intro to YYZ. I mean, trying to pick a favourite album that he plays on is tough because I love all the Rush albums, but I remember Moving Pictures because it just has all of my favourite songs there. And I think some of his finest work. Neil Peart. What a sad loss that was. And at 4 is Ginger Baker, another member of Cream. Ginger. I think, looking at the evolution of it goes Ginger, Keith, and then onwards, I think, because you look at the way that Keith plays, he plays very much like Ginger. The difference with Ginger Baker was he wasn't very much liked by people. But the second thing about Ginger is he was a completely wild card. Held his sticks. Sorry, keep it in mind. He held his sticks in different ways, with overhand, very jazz-driven. He could get real power in them, not so much. He didn't hit them what he didn't strike them that hard. He just caressed the skins almost, but made them sing. And Ginger, for all of his incantations, with BBW, with Gary Moore and Bruce. Sorry. Absolute wrong fart there. I'm sorry, let me say this. Jack Bruce. I knew that. I just went, sorry. Jack Bruce. Yeah, anyway. Ginger Breaker. Crazy as a cut snake. Took it to the drums. I think most drummers really, truly are crazy, like goalkeepers. You've got to stand in front of a ball being kicked at you a million miles an hour and dive into a hard ground. You have to be slightly crazy. It's the same with drummers. It just, people say that drummers aren't a real member of the band or aren't really musicians, or they can get fucked. Personally, sorry, my French there. But, if you try to play the drums, it's not easy. In fact, it's very, very hard. Without them and without a decent drummer, the band really lags behind. Anyway, Ginger Baker. And last of all on the list, now it wouldn't be a heavy metal podcast without mentioning Clive Burr. Clive Burr, Iron Maiden's first drummer. Sad story, had MS, got very sick, couldn't play. Band had to find a new drummer. They thought it was alcohol. It turns out it wasn't. It was something a lot worse than that, sadly. But he played drums. He swang. He had a swing. I heard a review once say that it was the swing. His drum style was so. If you listen to my words mixed up here. But if you listen to any of the albums that he was on, Number of the Beast is a classic example. The drum styles on it, Hall I Be Thy Name, right? The syncopation, the swing on it is just beautiful. Really is something beyond heavy metal. Obviously, you don't wake up in the morning and suddenly all you do is play heavy metal. You're a drummer. You have evolution as a musician. We've evolved from probably playing big band. This is the 70s. Late 60s, probably playing pop covers, maybe even Purples and things like that. But anyway, he had real swing. Very much akin to John Bonham, actually. Bonham had beautiful swing, and I think that's probably where he was. Anyway, Clive, I just remember the day he died. It was just weird. I know where I was. I know who I was talking to. I was in a work meeting, and I just couldn't think much after that. Anyway, that's for drummers. I've got to sort of wind this up and I'm dragging on a bit. But last and not least, I'm going to say, someone said, where's your keyboards? Now, not all bands have keyboards. Maiden's does now, There's only one for me. There's probably many, many of them out there I've missed and don't know much about, but the one I know is John Rule. The ivory tinkling, Hammond organ smashing, bearded long-haired monster of Deep Purple. He truly. Oh, hang on. You know what? I'm going to say I've got two. I'm going to say in the same breath. I'm going to say Keith Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and John Lord. John Lord for his heaviness, for his introduction to the Hammond and the rock and the swing and just the roller coaster steamroller of the sound. And Keith Emerson for his imaginative flair stage work. He's using a paint roller, sticking blades in between the keys and rolling the keyboard over and knocking onto the stage, and not just that, his soundtrack work with when he wrote music for Dario Argento, probably my favourite Italian horror director. Movies like Inferno, just brilliant. He was a true musician and sadly a very sad man, and he took his own life. Hopefully none of these anyone else did that. Shame there was someone that wasn't there for him. Anyway, that's on the dark side, dark note. So yeah, John Lord and Keith Emerson. Guys, that's out my band. I'd just like to say right at the end here, if you want to please send to me to heavymetaltones@gmail.com. That's heavymetaltones@gmail.com. That's one word. I'd love to know any of your heroes and what lists you have, if they differ from me, and another band name. Make it humorous if you want, make it serious if you want. I thought of things like The Most as an experience. I've had that under my belt for some time. I think that annoys people, but I love it. Anyway, something fun, something serious, whatever you want. Or you can go to my Facebook page, which is Nwabum and All Things Heavy Metal. Nwabum and All Things Heavy Metal. And you can sort of give me some information there. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. It's been sort of a fun trip down memory lane. Keep safe. Keep getting yourself. I hope you're all getting jabbed, or if you can, maybe you can get out to live venues very soon. See you next week.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology. We call this Deep Sales, and we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today.
Tired of ads crashing your comedy podcast party? Good news. Ad-free listening on Amazon Music is included with your Prime membership. Just head to amazon.com/ad-free comedy to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads. Enjoy thousands of Acast shows ad-free for Prime subscribers. Some shows may have ads.
Acast powers the world's best podcasts. Here's a show that we recommend.
After 3 years, the world of the award-winning horror podcast, The Magnus Archives, is back with The Magnus Protocol. Immerse yourself in a brand new terror and uncover the secrets behind the mysterious work of the Office of Incident Assessment and Response, and try to find out what really happened to the Magnus Institute. Though remember that too many questions can come at a cost. The Magnus Protocol premieres January 18th, wherever you get your podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.